G'day, this is Captain Noob, and this is Big Boomer, the unique New Vegas Sawn-off barrel shotgun. This one is actually carried by Old Lady Gibson in her scrapyard there, and as you can tell there, as I zoom the camera in a little bit on that foregrip there, you can see it's got Big Boomer there. So yeah, it's got a little bit of difference to the standard one. It's a little bit more rust and a darker coloring, but in terms of performance, it's a little bit better. So compared to the standard Sawn-off double barrel, you get a little bit more damage, like up to 20 points more damage if you got all the necessary upgrades, which is pretty neat. You also get a tighter spread, which is nice at range there. Now, one thing about the double barrels in New Vegas is that they actually fire both of their shells at once, which is actually pretty good because that way you get 14 pellets firing instead of the standard 7 there. And with that, if I'm guessing that and stay back works off the pellet count of your weapon as a random chance, you actually get a much better chance to actually, knock down your enemies, which is nice. And as you can tell, when that Deathclaw got into close range, it wasn't even a crit, we were able to blow his head off nice and easily. Now, one advantage of this weapon is that it is actually a little bit better in VATS when it comes to the AP usage, which is nice. Now, reloading after every shot is a little bit bad because as you can tell, it leaves you a little bit vulnerable when these Deathclaws are charging at you. I've got myself in a pretty bad position here, so I'm going to VATS a little bit as this Deathclaw comes in for the hug, and hope we can nab some criticals. I like how the Deathclaw just sucker punches me out of the VATS camera angle there. Okay, so we're in a lot of trouble. That one's coming in for another hug, so hopefully VATS defense will help us out. We actually nabbed about 300 hit points off him just there, which was pretty good. We are using the Magnum shotgun rounds here, which do increase our damage a little bit, and it takes some of their damage threshold out, which is very, very useful for a shotgun. And it wouldn't be useful using a shotgun when it comes to sort of without shotgun surgeon and stay back, because yeah, it seems to be very, very shotguns in this game seem to be absolutely destroyed by any damage threshold. I'm thinking about running flechettes with this as that Deathclaw quirks to death. We'll quickly get another reload on, and my poorly timed VATS allows me to get into easy hits there, hopefully. Looks like we are punching through their armor somewhat, as indicated by the broken shield there, which is pretty good. So in comes another Deathclaw to immediately hit me right out of VATS, which probably wouldn't happen in Fallout 4 because I would have exited out instead of waiting for that silly animation to play, but whatever. Okay, so we are working through these Deathclaws at a slow rate. We're taking a lot of hits, so obviously it's not a real top tier weapon. Now, what's good about Sawn-off double barrel shotguns is that I've actually turned the cinematic kill cams on too, is that they're holdout weapons, right? So you can sneak them into casinos and you're not going to be facing very tough things in there. But unfortunately for Big Boomer, for whatever reason, this thing isn't actually considered a holdout weapon. So you immediately lose that advantage, which is kind of odd. I really would like this thing to be an actual holdout weapon because, you could rip up the tops with a Sawn-off double barrel shotgun, which suits it, I think. It's sort of a gangster weapon, I suppose. Now, one thing weird about this weapon's design, it's actually got some sort of a pistol grip on it. So maybe it's like a Wasteland modification of this weapon, or just Bethesda's incompetence with weapons in general using the same model, or Obsidian use the same model, so why the hell change it? But yeah, that's kind of weird. Obviously, the double barrel shotgun in Fallout 4 is more of a rifle type weapon, as it is sort of benefited from riflemen and all those perks rather than a pistol holding in two hands like that. But when it comes to guns in this game, they're all controlled under the same skill. So that's actually a kind of an interesting thing about New Vegas or the older Fallout games, where you could have a much wider variety of weapons all upgraded by one skill. So you wouldn't have to, all of the weapons you'd find, or some of the weapons you'd find would be more usable, or more of the weapons that you would find would be more usable. Say, instead of having different firing modes like automatic, whether it's a pistol or if it's a rifle, you'll just have ballistic guns and then energy weapons instead, and that actually doesn't limit you to very few weapons. So yeah, it's a weird system. Not actually sure whether I prefer one or the other, but in terms of role-playing, I guess, maybe limiting yourself only to automatic weapons. Oh, look, it's the female mysterious stranger lady thing, and Misfortune. She grabbed victory from the jaws of defeat. I think that's her name. I don't think I've ever actually seen her pop up before. So yeah, that's a first from Misfortune on this channel, which is nice. So at this range, I'm basically plinking at them. There's no real point on facing these Deathclaws up close. So we're just gonna have to hope for these random crits. See if this was Fallout 4, and I've actually gotten myself into a really bad position here because this Deathclaw is probably going to push me down, and I'll go ahead and get chopped up by old mate Deathclaw over here. I think I got in just before. If we get a crit here, we might be able to blow his head off. Not quite. Okay, so now we're knocked down here. We're out of those Deathclaws way, but I did see the mother back down there, so I'm just going to run over here and panic. But it looks like it's just about over for me. Don't forget to stop running. Yes, we'll put that Deathclaw in between me and the others. I think that'll work. Okay, here they come. We've got to scamper up on these rocks quickly so we don't get ourselves clawed to death. Okay, so I really thought we were going to die there, but that's okay, we didn't. I think the mother Deathclaw's legs are crippled. That's why they're sort of hobbling around, which was very useful. If we can manage to kill the alpha male Deathclaw, that would be highly useful to us. I like how the Deathclaws twerk on the ground when I shoot them. Oh my god, it's the alpha male. See, I was too busy watching the Deathclaws shake, 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 and then I got killed by an alpha male. But I think this thing fighting Deathclaws is probably not the thing you want to use for it. In fact, you'd probably get a riot shotgun instead. So, screw it. We'll try again. Why the hell not? This time, actually, I want to grab some flechette ammo. I was going to say rounds, but I said ammo instead, so I said rammo. Fine, whatever. So looking at the different ammos we could put in this, I'm kind of tempted by flechette, but looking at the gameplay before, we were actually punching through the Deathclaw's armor just fine with the Magnum, so maybe that's not actually our best sort of options there. We can get a little bit more damage with the coin shot, and our beanbag, probably not going to be the most useful, but there's actually quite a big selection here. I'm actually tempted by what's it called? Dragon's Breath the most, because I actually want to light these people on fire, but Slug, that's also something I'd like to see. But yeah, we'll try this out with a little bit of Dragon's Breath to start off with, see how well we can do with this. And yeah, we'll go ahead and try to sneak, but nope, our sneak is already blown. But yes, we can do a little bit of good damage over time with this, which is nice. I'm not actually sure how much damage over time we do get, but it looks like we're wearing down their health at a nice sort of rate there. If I let that one keep burning, we can guess that we can sort of assume that, okay, he's got 25 health left, so maybe it's like a 25 health burning? I'm not sure, probably need to look that up, eh? We'll just quickly kill this one in VATS. Really glad that we're getting those nice staggerings from... Ooh, I was wondering if going in the water is going to extinguish the fire. Probably. That's interesting. Or maybe not. Probably just run out at a nice time. But anyways, Dragon's Breath is working well for us so far, and obviously not playing as aggressively and using this thing when they're a little bit closer just to get the best damage out of this is probably a good idea too. I'm guessing that we can use the damage over time of this weapon to sort of offset the less damage at range, because maybe if some of the pellets hit, they're going to be set on fire anyways, which is some guaranteed damage. Although you do lose a little bit of damage with this. You get only 90% of the standard damage with a standard 12 gauge, which it makes up for it in the damage over time, definitely. It's a nice addition. I really like all of these new ammo types added by Gunrunner's arsenal. If only Fallout 4 had some sort of system like that, as we shoot that Deathclaw and it explodes in a real cinematic way. Cinematic enough for the camera to get real excited about it. Okay, so that's flechette, pulse slug, not useful for us. Standard, we'll go for some slugs. This probably should hold damage at distance better, but I'm doubting this will work too well. Well, we got a sneak attack critical there, so maybe at range that slug is what we sort of need to use, although the iron sights on this thing aren't particularly usable. There's no real clear point of reference to where the bullet's going. I'm guessing the very top of whatever that is. I think that's the release mechanism. Or is that on the front of the thing? I don't know. Anyways, we'll try this thing up close. Yep, that'll do him in. Was that a critical strike? I didn't actually see, but we'll see how well we go there. So that was a critical strike. killed him very quickly. And there's a cinematic shot of Stone Face Abigail there. I kind of like in the newer Fallout games you actually pull different faces when engaging enemies, like you'll have a determined look on your face while you're critting someone, instead of having just a stone face, just a nothing face. It makes it kind of creepy. Alright, that's Magnum yet again. We've already done that a little bit. Beanbag, don't even worry about that. Coin shot, yes, let's fire these guys full of Legionnaire currency. Why the hell not? Probably useless over there, only got what, 32 damage on that one. Okay, we ought to really get up to that rock quickly before all the scary deathclaws try to kill me, like that one. Was that Mummy? No, that was just a standard deathclaw. Wait a second, you didn't do that much damage to me. That never happens. Or maybe I'm just miscalculating how much damage deathclaws can actually do. But good thing that wasn't Mummy, because we'd be very dead right now. So a coin shot, whilst it does give you a little bit more damage and you can pick the coins off the corpses. Oh, that's all nice and huddled up there. Perfect. Let's get some dragon's breath in there, see if we can actually light some of these guys on fire. Doesn't seem to be too effective at this range. Maybe it's maybe if you're only caught in the muzzle flash of this. I'm not actually sure how this is supposed to work. Wait, hang on. If I think about that for a second, maybe you do have to be caught in the sort of the muzzle flash of this, because there's no way those little projectiles are going to actually ignite someone. That's crazy talk. See, I'm not totally clueless about guns, but compared to your average American, it leaves a little bit to be desired. So at this range, we'll probably go for a little bit of slugging. I think that is our best sort of way, and we can actually zoom in all the way on these guys, which... sure, why the hell not? We'll take a 30% chance to your head after a little bit of concentrated fire. I actually kind of want to see the projectile fly through the air. Well, you can actually see them then, but I wanted a zoom in close-up shot of it in slow motion. Okay, this isn't working very well. If only there was explosive shotgun shells in this. Kind of like how Fallout 4 had the overpowered shotgun things. Alright, let's try these bad boys. That is not where he was. Alright, we're gonna have to lure them in a little bit like this. Ah, there's Mummy. Vats, please. Yep, that'll do it. Alright, just wait for these Vats things to come up. Yep, 95% chance to the head. Let's see how we do. Critical strike on Mummy. Does very well. And we actually take her out. If we can quickly scamper up these rocks, that would be good. Alright, this is proper guerrilla warfare tactics here. This is what we're gonna have to use. Okay, 4BM. What do these bad boys do? These actually... Okay, so it's just more of the hand-loaded Magnum buckshot? I don't know. I'm not familiar with all of these ammo types, but I do know that I'm basically doing nothing over here. So we just have to lure them in slowly. Wait for it. I'm being cucked by that young Deathclaw. Nope, the one behind you. Yep, we'll target Satan Man. Oh, that was a nice critical there. Knocked him down too, but didn't get that nice follow-up shot since he was being thrown back by... Boy, get down from here, you bastard. Oh, that bloody mess effect never gets old. Now it's all over my screen. That's very visceral. So the less spread on this thing definitely does help us out. And we're actually following that singular shotgun paladin. That's great. Now, if that was Fallout 4, you'd probably follow a pistol bullet going through that, because that's something that happens. Even... Oh, I'm stuck in these rocks. Okay, looks like we're going for a last stand in these rocks, apparently. Luckily, I was able to ward off my Deathclaw foes by shooting that one and making him die. I think I might have messed up Mummy's pathing. Now I'm fully inside the rock. There's nothing you can do now. I have become one with the rock. And not the cool rock. Not Dwayne the Rock Johnson. And oh my god, this is scary. I don't think I can do anything. I can't even VATS these guys. I'm just gonna quickly sneak. Uh-oh. Things are going bad. I don't think I can make this. We'll just have to... Oh no. Wait, we can target one in VATS. Can we actually hit this one? Let's see. No, no way. We're not getting through that rock. I think I might have to call the video here because there's nothing I can do at this point. Oh lord. Alright. Let's get this thing loaded with Dragon's Breath. Can we Dragon's Breath people through... Where is it? There it is. No, we can't Dragon's Breath people through walls, or Deathclaws through walls, which kind of sucks. I know, we can tunnel through these rocks. We have become tunnelers. This is your tunneler roleplay. See, tunnelers will beat Deathclaws because we can beat the mighty New Vegas terrain and all of its glitches. Okay. I probably should have done this before, but maybe you'll find some comedic effect in me being stuck in rocks. Alright, let's get some of these Deathclaws all nice and... Never mind. Well, I think that gives you a good idea of what the Big Boom is for. Obviously, with its inherent double-barrel shotgun tendencies, it's not going to be a top-tier weapon, but it is fun for what it is. It's nice that they give you a little bit better performing double-barrel shotgun there, but it's nothing to really write home about. Still, I had a nice time with this. I barely ever used this in Fallout 3 or New Vegas, so it's nice having a little bit of a refresher on a weapon that I've never used before. And obviously the Gunrunner's Arsenal ammo just does give this thing a little bit more life to it, even though this thing only brought me death. So I think that is about it for the Big Boomer. Trash tier unique because there's better options out there, but for early game you'll do yourself just fine. Just remember that we're fighting top tier endgame Deathclaws here, and not every weapon is actually able to beat them. If I played a little bit more cautiously and maybe did a little bit played a bit smarter, then obviously I would have beaten them, but at this point you probably get the idea of this. So if you'd like to see this thing in your game, kill old lady Gibson. She'll give you a part for that rocket quest in Repcon test site place. You probably already know what I'm talking about. This game's been out for bloody years now. Thank you for watching, guys.